Hello and welcome to David Photography. I wasn't actually planning to come out today, but I'm out, and here's where I am because I am not going to try and attempt to see it. Okay, as you see, this is where we are. The car park is right here. It's cobbled, so it's really fun to drive over. And before we get to the other part of it, which is over there, we are at this bit. Which stands in a little fenced area. You drive past it to come in. So yes, as I said, I wasn't planning on coming here, but I had to pick up a parcel, and I thought, well, if I'm coming, I might as well bring the camera out and see if there's anywhere I could go. And this was one of the places which I managed to find to come to. So we're just utilising doing two things at the same time. As you see here, we have a proper church, of course it is. Well, a one with a roof on anyway, a one where you can actually have religious ceremonies in. And I'm now just walking in the graveyard. There's a nice thing to do, walk in the graveyard. And then just have a look and see what we'll find. We're getting some new little flowers coming out here. But this big item here is an abbey, and this is where we're going. So I just thought that I only looked it up last night, and it was dependent on the weather, and as you can see, it's a bit misty and overcast, so I don't have very nice skies at all. I just have to work out how to get round to the abbey. I think I've got to use the path on the other side. Drinking again. Well, as I said, I looked it up yesterday. I seen how to get here. It was near to where I had to pick up the parcel I had to collect. So I thought, well, on the way back we'll stop off here, as long as it's not snowing, raining, or doing any other stupid thing from the sky. And actually, when I left home it was 3 degrees, and now it's 2 degrees. When I left, it looked like it was actually going to be quite nice, and when I got here it started drizzling. So I picked up my parcel in bits of snow and drizzle. So I thought, well, we'll see if it gets any better. So it's got a bit better, so I thought, well, we'll still stop off here. I don't know if the church is open. I think it is. So I'll just turn the camera around and I'll walk around, because sometimes some churches do get a bit stuffy about you taking pictures or anything like that. So So it actually looks like that I am the only person here. And I'm still whispering. As you see, it's quite dark in here. Actually, it's much darker than what probably the screen is picking up. It looks bright in the picture there, but it's actually quite dark in here. You see the wall? That's actually painted on. We have a couple of stained glass windows over here. Hopefully when I have a service to actually turn the lights on. So I'll see if I can take a couple of pictures, because for me it is really dark in here. So we'll see what I can get, and then I'll see you back outside. Okay, now actually from the church I was going to go straight to the Abbey and do the video around there and just put up a couple of pictures of both the church and the Abbey. But when I was physically doing it and looking at the difficulty I had, that the church was so dark, although it didn't come through on the video that it was that dark, it was actually pretty dark. And I thought maybe this would be a good point to have a look at the thought processes when you have an internal building like a church where you are restricted, that you have no flash, there might be other people around, the lights may not be as they should be, sometimes the churches have little small windows, and how to deal with that with your camera and with the settings. So that is what I'm going to do right now. Right now we're going to look at the shots I took in the church. I'm going to talk about the shots and what I was thinking and how I changed the settings of the camera to get a better image out of the camera, instead of just taking a shot and then bringing it back here, sticking it into the software and making the change that way, because that can take up a lot of time. So we're going to try and to get the shot good in the camera, that it pleases how it looks and you're satisfied with it. And then we'll discuss and have a look at the pictures that I took from there and how I worked out and the steps I took to get the pictures the way I wanted them. So let's get to them pictures, and I'll show you them on the computer screen, and I'll voice over my thoughts and what the settings were and how I improved them and why I did it in that fashion, as there is other ways that I could have took them, but I chose that path that I took them, and we'll look at that. Okay, we start with the first picture. Now the ISO is set to 250. With 250 we tried the shutter at 1.8 with the f at 3.5 and 14mm. For the second picture we changed to the Pro lens and we kept the settings the same, except we changed the f number to 2.8 and we changed to 17mm and got this picture. With all the settings except one changing, we changed the shutter speed to 3/10 to see, letting more light in, see if we can get it a bit brighter and a bit more sharper. And this is the third picture in the set. Okay, this is the fourth one. We do one more change. We change the shutter speed to 2.5, but the f number we changed to 3.2. Not much of a change, but a bit more depth to hopefully get more out of it. And this is the setting and the final setting that we make on this lens, and it just gives it that little bit more. You may not see it in the video, but as a picture it is much better than the other settings. Now with these settings, we just turn round and take a picture of the far wall. Now, the reason why I chose not to change the ISO from its 250 is to keep it nice and sharp and not bring extra grain or effect to the picture. I changed only the shutter speed to do this, as it wouldn't affect anything else. Okay, even with the stone, we kept everything the same from the wall because the light was exactly the same shining on this stone. So we kept everything the same to get the best image that we could in the circumstances. Now, we took the same settings and took this picture of the window. Now, the difference comes here is that the window detail is lost with this setting. So the only change I make here is now going to 1/10. This now brings the detail back in the faces of the window and keeps the colour. And as you see, all around is just pure black. Now, on taking this shot, it was lit direct by a window right beside it, but using 1/10 meant you couldn't read the words and it looked really dark. So therefore we changed the setting and went to 2.5 and then retook the picture again and got this one, putting more light and making the words more visible. Now for the hardest picture of all. This is the font and it is total blackness. Even changing it to 1 second handheld, this was the best picture I could get. But instead of making any other changes, I thought of one idea without changing any settings on the camera. I did one change, and one change alone, to make this picture better. And what was that? It was right beside the church door, the one that says keep shut at all times. So I opened the door and let all the light in and took this picture. Now you see all the light is hitting one side of it, which is giving you the detail of the item, and you see the shadow on the ground that shows you where the light comes from. Now remember, without any flash, opening a door or opening the curtains of a window may give you enough light to shine on the object to get the picture. Now these were the pictures I took inside of the church. Each one had its own little quirk and made you have to think about each one, the amount of light and what you were. Every single one I handheld. Even this one at 1 second was handheld, and this is a real shot. I didn't take 6 or 7, one shot and I got the picture for now. And so back outside, we now change to an ISO of 160 and 1/50th of a second at 5.6, 12mm for a final outdoor shot. And please come back next week and I'll show you around the Abbey. You must look forward to that. But challenges as ever, you solve the problems, you get the shots, and you try and get the best shot when you're on location and not correct it when you come back in software. So I hope that helps. But always think for yourself. You don't have to let the camera do everything. Just think it out and you can get the shot. See you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.